All right, so we are currently in line to get our press passes. It is absolutely crazy in terms of just people here. There are honestly so many. I feel like if you went into the vendor halls, you'd be afraid of dying. But this is the Calgary Expo, and I'm your local tourist, and I'm dressed like a Transformers Jijinka. Let's go. This is really cool. Some of the great things that you can find at a convention are collectibles. If you are a fan of Frank Frazzetti, you might with a small chance get really super lucky and find a Vampirilla cover with his art. His work is some of the most famous. He is called the grandfather of fantasy art. He did a lot of his early work in comics, and actually the woman who designed Vampirilla actually started a small women's movement of comics in Toronto, Canada in the 70s. Unfortunately, her organization isn't around anymore, but you can still find her work and the pencils and inks and designs of important characters. You are Michael Schwartz,
I am.
if I can read.
Yes.
You write.
I do.
Tell us, what was your favorite script to write, actually? Tell me about that.
So, I have a lot of favorite scripts I've written, but they all haven't been made. So, I'm a feature film screenwriter, and there's something called development hell. Have you ever heard of this, working in media?
I think I am familiar with development hell.
I've written probably over a dozen movies that have not been made, but my most famous movie is No Malone. I was a screenwriter on that Netflix movie, and then I wrote this R.L. Stine movie called Zombie Town with Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase, and I just handed in probably my favorite script a week ago for a new R.L. Stine movie.
Ooh.
So a little scoop for you there. Yeah.
Exclusives.
And then I also write this comic book called Armored. It's about a boy who finds a haunted medieval suit of armor that has magical powers, and the ghost has to train the boy how to use the armor.
I'm here with
Ryan Danny Owen
and
Kat Simmers.
and they're going to talk about their latest project, Pass Me By, and I'm so excited to hear about it.
Our series, Pass Me By, has been going on since about 2018, but our first book is called Pass Me By Gone Fishing, and it's about an old man named Ed dealing with early onset dementia, living in a small rural Canadian town. And in this one, it's about him just forgetting what he orders at the diner every day and dealing with the loss of his memory and coming to terms with his memory decreasing. And then our sequel, Pass Me By Electric Vice, jumps back to 1973 to his past touring with a glam rock band. So in this one, it's this really outrageous blast of neon color and light, and it's about discovering queer identity, coming to terms with oneself, and just about this really outrageous period of time. And then our most recent book, which actually came out earlier this month, is called Pass Me By Lily, and it jumps back to the present, and it's about Lily, Ed's estranged granddaughter, who is a trans teenager coming to live with him in a small town, and about them connecting across intergenerational periods of history and, you know, just supporting each other through this period.
So this is Armored. Ooh,
Yeah.
Is it fair to call it indie?
Yeah, I would say everything I do is independent. So even No Malone, it was funded, it wasn't done through like the studio system. Even Netflix, I don't think, funded the movie in any way. They bought it after it had been made and it became a Netflix movie.
Right, like they bought the distribution
Yeah,
rights, they slapped their name on it.
Yeah, they acquired it. Zombie Town was, the producer lives down the street from me in Toronto, and Armored I self-funded myself, and then it's published through a company called Clover Press out of San Diego.
Nice.
Yeah.
We started out in Gone Fishing through a Kickstarter campaign where we crowdfunded to produce a risograph edition of the book. We eventually got picked up by a publisher, and then through creating that, we sort of had a proof of concept, and we started to get grant support behind projects. We got a small grant to help us with Electric Vice, and then in Pass Me By, we've been able to get support from 3 levels of government to be able to create this rather massive book, which would have been totally impossible without that kind of support. But it was through producing the first book and really having this like solid example of that we knew what was involved and how long it would take and how much it would cost. That was where we started to really get that support rolling.
Obviously, the queer identity is a very integral and important part of these books. How much of that was like research from the local queer culture? Like, where were you drawing your inspiration?
A lot of this came from connecting with queer community here and starting to like explore gender through these like parties that we were having and through drag. My partner is a drag performer, so I'm still very connected to that community. It's very much where like the inspiration to tell these kind of stories comes from, to show that like we are here and we have as much a right to call this place home as anyone.
So, last question, and I'll leave you alone. But what would be your number one piece of advice for anyone looking to support indie artists moving forward, especially with AI kind of encroaching on jobs?
You know, I know sometimes you may not have a lot of money and you want to support an artist in some way. Just even following them on social media, sharing their artwork to your feed or to your stories, giving it a like, that stuff goes a long way. That is probably the best thing you can do, and obviously buying some independent art is always good too.
So we're gonna see if we can find anyone willing to talk about a con rave. Now, this is one of them ancient old head things, so it might not even exist anymore. It might be extinct after 2020, but we'll have to see. All right, so like, come with me. Come with me to the party. I'm here with Mihawk from One Piece, along with Zoro, Brooke, and Bonnie. Was I close? Corona? I'm a fake fan, obviously. Right? It's hard. It's confusing. And so I just gotta like ask you girls and guys and non-binary skeletons, where's the party? Where we go for a party? Have you guys been to a con rave?
My son got lost and I can't find him. If you find him 3 swords, I can't party without him.
I'm right here.
Where's your swords?
So no conclusive answers on a con rave. I don't think they exist anymore. But we did have some great interviews with some local artists, and we saw a lot of cute things in the vendor halls and some costumes, and you know, that's all you can really ask for at a con. And I'm signing out, and across there's Nanami. He's going to work. All right, bye.